Everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on this very special gratitude focus event. I'm Michelle Bomberger, founder of Equinox Business Law Group. Most of you on the call are familiar with Equinox, and we really appreciate each of you and how you contribute to our business. This is something that we do every month. We do our focus events, really trying to bring forward content that is valuable to small business and business leaders in the area. Sometimes it's very technical, sometimes it's more about professional and personal growth. And today I'm really, really grateful to have my friend, Andrea Heuston, who's the founder of Artitudes Design. She's also very involved with Entrepreneurs Organization, and we've worked together on the board of directors there. Over the years, we have been involved with business leadership groups together, as well as becoming close friends. And so when she mentioned that she had this new program, this new speech that she's putting out there that is around the topic of gratitude, I thought, what a fantastic opportunity to have her share that with our audience and our clients and colleagues today. So with that, Andrea, I will turn it over to you to kick us off this morning. Thank you again.
Thanks, Michelle. I'm very excited to be here. So I went to this program a few weeks ago called the Global Speakers Academy, and I've been a speaker for many, many years, but I learned to create a speech in a different way. And so I'm really excited to present that today. It's early days yet, so have some grace for me, but I'm excited to talk about it. And it really is a timely topic because it's about gratitude. So the speech itself is called the 3 Key Steps to Creating a Life of Opportunity and Grace Through Gratitude. I'm going to share this real quick, make sure everyone can see it. So can you see my screen? Great. So I am excited to present this today. Let's see if it'll go. There we go.
I don't think we're getting audio.
So today we're going to talk about gratitude and how to get there in your life and what that means. So I just spent the last hour getting ready for work. You know, the usual. I showered, washed and styled my hair, applied my makeup, and I spent at least 20 minutes agonizing over what to wear that day. As I was leaving my bedroom, I caught my reflection in the mirror. I stopped, dead in my tracks. Oh, who do you think you are? Why would anyone do business with you? You're fat, you're ugly, you're a lazy slob. I wanted to cry. You see, we all struggle with something. Too tall, too short, too fat, too thin. My nose is too big. My hair is thinning. For me, it was my weight. I felt in control of everything else in my life. I had a beautiful family, a growing business, a life I loved, but I couldn't lose the weight. Years of infertility treatments added 50 pounds. Running a growing business and raising 2 young boys created an unhealthy relationship with snack food. I tried every program out there at the time, some with success and some without. So I decided, like everything else in my life, that I could control this too. And I paid for elective surgery. I got a lap band put in. 6 months later, after 2 unrelated emergency surgeries, I became deathly ill. 5 hospitals, 4 ambulance rides, 3 blood transfusions, and 9 incision scars across my torso. I ended up in a coma for 17 days. I ended up in a coma for 17 days. When I finally woke up, and after first asking my husband for my cell phone from my hospital bed, I felt a complete and total loss of control. I wanted someone to fix me. I wanted to blame anyone but myself. I thought the world was out to get me. I felt like a victim, and I was in my own way. Through counseling, conversation, and deep reflection, I learned that I have the power to choose my own reaction to anything that life throws my way. I have that power. And so do you. Now, instead of feeling completely out of control, I know that I control my reaction to every circumstance. Now, instead of blaming the universe, I look first internally at my own responsibility. And now, instead of thinking that the world is out to get me, I know that every day is a gift. Over the past 15 years, I've helped leaders just like you learn to share their stories of trauma and grief to become stronger on the other side. I'm Andrea Heuston, and I believe we can all choose our reaction to our circumstances. In the next 20 minutes, you will learn to listen to your inner voice, to change your negative thoughts to positive ones, and to find the power in gratitude in order to move into a life of more opportunity and grace. So first, we are going to explore our voices. I slept through the alarm clock. My teenage son used all of the hot water again, and I had an icy cold shower. I was out of my favorite coffee and I had to settle for the kind in the back of the cabinet, stale and definitely not my favorite. I got into the car, out of gas. I finally made it into the office and I was late for a project meeting with a client. It was a sucky start to the day. Stupid alarm clock, it never works. And darn it, Aiden, you used all the hot water again. This day just sucks. When something isn't going your way, what does the voice in your head say? Does it ask why bad things just keep happening? Does it believe that other people or circumstances are to blame, that any effort you make to create change will fail, so there's no point in even trying? The reason we're talking about this today is that all the things that happened that morning were completely under my control. We all have the power to change the narrative and to calm those negative voices. Everyone else is going to tell you to get over it and move on. I'm telling you, you'll never be able to move on until you acknowledge it. So let's explore the definition of the victim mentality. The victim mentality rests on three main ideas. The first is that bad things will happen and keep happening. The second is that other people or circumstances are to blame. And finally, the third is that any efforts to create change will fail, so there's no point in trying. The idea of victim mentality is thrown around a lot in pop culture and casual conversation to refer to people who seem to wallow in negativity and force it upon others. It is not a formal medical term. In fact, many health professionals avoid it due to the stigma surrounding it. I want you to be able to identify what victim mentality looks like in your life. And the first step to get over victim mentality is to really know what it is. So for just a moment, I want you to close your eyes. I actually mean it. Close your eyes. Close them. I want you to think about a scenario that has recently happened that didn't go the way you wanted. Did you blame someone else or an inanimate object? What were you hoping the outcome would be by choosing that narrative? How did you feel? Scared? Frustrated? Sad? Angry? You may open your eyes now. How could the scenario you thought about have played out differently if you chose a different narrative? I challenge you to reflect on your day every single night. How many times during the day did you choose a different narrative? How many times did you acknowledge your feelings without blame? Once you start doing this on a regular basis, the next step for you is to learn how to reprogram your thoughts. So now that we know what victim mentality looks like, let's examine how we can change our negative reactions to positive ones. This is the second thing we're going to talk about today. Come with me. It was a foggy August night on the Washington coast. My boys had just brushed their teeth and climbed into their bunk beds upstairs, and I sat down to read a book in front of a glowing warm fire to finish my day. I was thinking about how wonderful the day had gone, playing on the beach in the sand and the surf with my boys. It was an amazing day. Suddenly, I heard a noise that sounded like a jet airplane was landing on the roof of my house. Sparks started flying out of the fireplace, singeing the rug at my feet. After dumping a Brita pitcher of water from the refrigerator onto the flames in the fireplace, I ran out onto the deck and I looked up. The roof was on fire. After dialing 911 and getting my children out of bed, dressed and outside, after moving my car to the neighbor's driveway, which I still frankly don't remember doing, and after watching our house burn and the roof collapse on the bunk beds upstairs where my children had been sleeping, I felt devastation, anxiety, and despair. I could have spent the next few months crying and depressed. I could have focused on what we lost, but I didn't. Looking back on the fire, I realized how grateful I was that we were alive, that nothing was lost but things, and that we had friends and family surrounding us with support and love. I won't tell you that every day was joyful, and I can't tell you that I never cried about losing my happy place. But I will tell you that finding the gratitude and joy in everyday moments as we rebuilt our home made the task easier and the load lighter. We've all heard things in our life like, it's all going to be okay, everything, just breathe, relax, sleep on it. Life is good. And I know you've all thought about the buts, but this, but that. But it doesn't matter. Everything will work out with enough patience and an optimistic attitude. Doesn't the certainty of that make you feel better, make your shoulders a little looser? That's the power of positive thinking. Now, I'm not talking about toxic positivity and living in denial. I'm talking about having a positive outlook on life. After my house burned down, I had a business coach tell me that I couldn't be positive all the time, that it wasn't genuine. And to some degree, she's right, because I have down days and I have down moments. But overall, I choose to see the positive side of most situations. And there is always a positive side. Things happen in life that aren't easy and aren't fair. But hear me here. We can all choose our reaction to anything that is thrown our way. We can choose what kind of day to have. We can choose to be negative, or we can choose to be positive. It is a choice. So how do you change your reactions from negative to positive? How do you go from a voice of need to one of gratitude? First and foremost, you have to take ownership and responsibility for your own needs and wants. Determine what you want and what's important to you, and then acknowledge it out loud or write it down. And do what you need to do to make it happen for yourself. I was recently working with a client on our monthly mentoring call. She felt that she was often stuck in her own way with negative thoughts. We practiced an exercise I call name it to tame it. Because if you can't name the emotion or the issue, you will never be able to tame it. It was such a valuable tool for her that she uses it now with her team and her children, who are teenagers. Hand in hand with the name it to tame it game is stop the blame. When you hear yourself going into blame stories, whether against the other people, the world, life, whomever, say stop to yourself out loud and turn your attention away from your blaming thoughts. This one is a little bit hard, but like any muscle, the more you do it, the easier it gets. Start small. The alarm clock goes off, but you hit snooze 3 times. Now you're late. I can't believe the alarm clock didn't work again. Stop. I better get moving, and maybe I'll move the alarm clock across the room tonight and turn it up. And then I want you to practice being kind to yourself. When you're blaming the universe and life for your suffering, you're actually not paying attention to your suffering or helping yourself feel better. By claiming the victim role, you're intensifying your pain. With victim identity in play, you're not only suffering because of what happened, you've now added to that pain the fact that you don't get what others get because you're cursed. Life and everyone in it is out to get you. And basically, the universe hates you. Rather than mentally cursing yourself out, be kind. So how does that look like in a real life situation? My husband and I were 3 years into trying to get pregnant. After countless procedures, surgeries, and tests, we learned that it was me that had fertility issues, not my husband. During my entire childhood, I'd been raised to believe that the one and maybe only thing that females should be good at was having babies. That gives you a lens into my childhood, doesn't it? But I couldn't. I started calling myself defective in my head, but also in conversations with family and friends. Andrea, you're defective. This is the one thing you should be able to do. Andrea, you're defective. You'll never be a mother. You're defective. All of your friends are having babies and you aren't. Talk about negative self-talk. It took me years to stop saying I was defective. And it was long after we adopted our amazing children that I was able to remove that negative self-talk from my head. The negative narrative was, Andrea, you're defective. You'll never be a mom. Everyone else can get pregnant, but you can't. Someone upstairs must hate you. So what does it look like to be kind to myself? I would say, Andrea, you're an amazing person. You'll make a terrific mother one day. You are meant to do this. So now we're going to talk about gratitude and how to move into that. So now that we know how to identify when we're in a victim mentality, and we know how to speak kindly to ourselves, and yes, I know this one will take some practice, let's talk about the missing link to a joyous life. That missing link is gratitude. I want you to know that gratitude is the most powerful sentiment in the universe. It's the quality of being thankful and a readiness to show appreciation for and to return a kindness. Research has shown that gratitude is strongly and consistently associated with greater happiness. Gratitude helps people feel more positive emotions, relish good experiences, improve their health, deal with adversity, and build stronger and lasting relationships. You have a chance right now to create a path to joy and opportunity in your life before any more time slips away in negativity, harming your relationship with yourself, but also with those who are close to you. Victim mentality creates a focus on suffering, specifically what you're not getting. Flipping your perspective and focusing on something that matters to you, that you are getting and that you do enjoy, creates a shift in your attention from what you're missing to what you already have. So let's flip the perspective. There's so many ways to turn negative thoughts into gratitude. I have a whole list of them, but I'd like to share my few favorites right now. So here are 4 ways that you can practice gratitude in your life, and they're really, really easy. The first one is to start your day thinking about 3 things, just 3 things that you are grateful for. You can do this right when you wake up in the morning, with your coffee, or even when you sit down at your desk like I do. They can be little or they can be big. The taste of a fresh strawberry, the feel of the sun on your face, the fact that your favorite socks are clean today. Your gratitude can be for the smallest, most irrelevant things, or those that feel big, like your partner in life, or the fact that you have a car that runs. Starting your day with gratitude sets a positive tone for the rest of the day. Frankly, a little secret is I end my day that way as well. The second one is to commit to one complaint-free day each week. I know it sounds crazy, but put it in your calendar and set a reminder so it pops up. Today's your complaint-free day. I know it's easier said than done, but if you commit to one day each week of no complaining, this is like a muscle as well. It'll just get stronger and easier as you go. So instead of complaining, you can look for the good in any situation. Stuck in traffic in the rain? Be grateful you have a car that runs and you're inside. Got in the slowest line at the grocery store checkout again, like I always do? Enjoy the time you get to read the crazy magazine headlines and people watch. The third activity you can do to exercise your gratitude muscle is to write a thank you note. I challenged myself last January to write one thank you note a week for the entire year. So far, I've done it. Some weeks I write 2 or 3. You can handwrite a note and send it. You can send an email or a text. Writing and sharing a thank you note helps you focus on the little things you take for granted in life and be more positive about the challenges. It's been an incredible gift to me this year. Finally, we're going to talk about compliments. I want you to practice giving compliments. Compliments make us feel good, both giving and receiving them. Feeling valued and appreciated are basic human needs. And being in the habit of giving compliments helps us notice and appreciate what's going on around us. It also helps us be present. The key to giving compliments is to pay attention to the people around you. Notice what you like or appreciate about somebody. It can be as easy as walking by a stranger and seeing you have a nice smile, especially if they're smiling. As you get into the habit of giving compliments frequently, you'll also get in the habit of noticing what's going on around you that's good. It's a straight line to a happier mindset. Try it now. I want you to take just a moment to think of a compliment to give to the person on your right in Zoom. I know it's crazy. Hopefully everyone will get a compliment. Think about it. Anything at all. Got it? All right. Please share that with them now in chat. Direct messages, please. I'm going to let you have a little bit of time to do it. All right. That felt good, didn't it? For those giving and receiving. Flipping the script into gratitude just means to focus on something you are thankful for. Sorry, any direction at all. So today we learned how to identify when we're in a victim mentality. What it looked to get us when it really isn't. Then we practice turning our negative reactions into positive ones. Being kind to ourselves paves the way to gratitude and positivity. Finally, we learned some easy ways to practice gratitude in our everyday life. Flipping our perspective into what we're grateful for creates a focus on the good things that are happening. One of the most common questions I get asked is, Andrea, can you help me learn to see the positive while I'm in the middle of a negative situation? And the answer is yes. I speak and share with people who want to be stronger, who want to be happier, and who want to tap in to the power of gratitude in their lives. Whether you're a person who has it all together, someone who focuses periodically on negative thoughts, or if you're currently struggling with grief and trauma in your life, living in gratitude can help you. You'll learn to find the beauty in small moments and focus on the positive aspects of any challenge you may be facing. Follow me on LinkedIn or send me an email at andrea@artitudes.com, and I will send you a free gratitude guide to help you identify your own moments of grace. you'll be able to access the positive within to move through challenges to opportunity. Let me share this. So I'm sharing my screen real quick. It's always fun in Zoom. Picture a day when you feel less anxiety and fear and your smile comes easily. Picture a day when your partner says to you, "You seem so happy and positive. It's great to have you back." Picture a day when you are not only joyous, but you have all that you need to move forward into a life of more opportunity and grace. I have one last thing I'd like to share with you. You deserve a joyful life where anxiety takes a backseat to happiness. You deserve a joyful life where it's easy to find gratitude in every single moment. You deserve a joyful life, one with endless opportunity and grace. You deserve a joyful life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Andrea. I didn't mention at the beginning, we are recording this program and we'll be sending out a link to the recording to the participants. So you will have a copy of this. I have had a couple people already ask if this is something that they can share with others. And I know that when I was listening to it, there are people in my life that I would love to have hear this as well, specifically my teenagers. But thank you so much for sharing this experience. I mean, there's so much vulnerability and so much experience in what you shared. And if anyone has questions that they want to ask Andrea, she's definitely available for the next 10 or 15 minutes. You can put those in the chat.
Here.
You can put them in the Q&A. I think I can actually unmute everybody.
Michelle, I very much appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much for your never-ending support.
Yeah. Wonderful to have you. Does anyone have anything they want to ask?
I'd love to answer questions. Or I am happy to take feedback as well.
You know, one of the things I was thinking as you were speaking, one is, you know, how vulnerable stories that you shared are and how authentic they are. And I think that really does add so much to the content. And so really appreciate that. But as you were developing this, this talk, where did you start?
Oh, I actually started with the end with my close because I really wanted to focus on gratitude and the positivity that was coming out of it before I filled everything in. So my first iteration of the speech was 40 minutes long. So I have a lot of content to plug and play, but some of the feedback is that you need to make it shorter. So I've worked on a 40-minute, a 30-minute, and now basically a 20-minute version of the speech. My next thing is to really get to a point where I can use the slides and me simultaneously while I'm on a Zoom call. I've done it in person too, and I have one in person on Friday, which will be fascinating because I haven't done it with slides before in person. So, but yeah, it was, you know, I worked on being vulnerable as well, because I need to in order for this message to stick with people. I will tell you, somebody actually just talked about, I really like giving compliments and excited to start that process. I also tend to struggle with others that are naturally negative in the workplace. However, what I've done with the negative people is I just compliment them. So my goal is always to find something about somebody that is positive. And that could be something I could incorporate into my speech, because it's hard to be surrounded by negativity and not let it affect ourselves. And really, it is a conscious effort to focus on the good when there's a lot of crap happening around us. So generally speaking, I'll give people compliments. And when I started doing it, it felt weird. It felt super strange to say to somebody, "Oh my gosh, I love what you're doing with that," or "You are so inclusive in your conversations," or anything at all. And I felt like it was fake, but it wasn't. It was just getting over that feeling of anxiety and imposter syndrome so that I could give compliments in a positive way. But I know exactly what you're saying.
And I know that
Yeah.
my daughter and I have talked a little bit about this. She will kind of stop people and be like, "Oh, I love your makeup," or I love your outfit. And I did that
Yep.
recently at a restaurant that I was at, and the person sort of, was taken
I
aback. But
know.
it does, it feels good. You get a little bit of that endorphins.
It feels good, and they keep it with them. I've had people say to me later on, not strangers, but later, I thank you so much for saying that. It changed the whole course of my day. Any other questions or comments? Do you ever find a time when it's hard to be grateful? Oh, yes, all the time. I really struggled when my house burned down because I vacillated between a victim and gratitude. But looking back on it, I focused more on creating memories and moments that we could take forward with us into our new home. And so there are days where I just can't find anything that I'm grateful for. And then I really have to focus. So I actually have a gratitude journal that I write in every single day. And the days that are hardest are the days that I need it the most. So there are little things that I put in here, like on 10/1, I was grateful for fall, a beautiful, nearly finished kitchen, which is now done, hot tea, the squat challenge I was doing, which was 1,500 squats in a month, and my morning walk with my husband. So I just look for anything at all. And when I say the taste of a fresh strawberry, those are things that you start to savor more when you're grateful for them. So when you're having a hard time being in gratitude, find anything and everything that you can be grateful for. If I'm having a down day, I'll even look at my nails and go, hey, I'm grateful for painted nails. They look really good. I'm trying to train my kids to do this too, because I feel like teenagers live in that negative space sometimes. So when my son comes home and said, oh, I've had a horrible day. It's been the worst day ever. And I said, what happened? He goes, well, a client or a customer was mad. I said, so your whole day is ruined? Why? Let's talk about it. How much did that customer spend with you? Did you get a commission? Things like that.
All right, well, with that, we will wrap up.